250th birthday. A record number of Americans are expected to hit the road this holiday weekend, just as California drivers are paying more at the pump.
All right, the state's gas tax is up 2.2% a gallon, adding to the highest gas tax in the country. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum has some advice for you. So if anybody's driving for the 4th of July holiday, here's a tip. If you want to save over 50 cents on a gallon of gas, fill up in a red state. The average price in red states is 53 cents lower than it is in blue states. The blue states,
really?
Blue states, those are
just
states
escape California already, people. It's over. They picked the exact worst time to raise the tax on the gasoline when everybody already is pinched at the pump. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well,
the once golden state just getting fucked into the dirt if you're not a multi-gajillionaire.
well, I mean, most of them were burned out, you know. So yeah, I don't know.
From California dreaming to California screaming the hell out of there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and they're don't come here. Don't come here.
Well, they gotta go somewhere. A lot of California plates down here in Texas already from the
well, they've been here for a while.
The event.
This really sucks. Because I'm gonna have to rip this from somebody.
by state legislatures that have adopted policies of less energy subtraction as opposed to energy addition. President Trump, his energy policy laying the foundation for peace in the Middle East.
And let's bring in Charles Payne. He's the host of Making Money. And Charles, the president.
Peace?
Whoa. In our time?
Peace in our time. Holy fuck, that's loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. I just blew my own eardrums out.
Sorry, man.
The president has said his goal is $2.50. America $2.50. His goal for gas is $2.50.
We could get close to that before the end of the year. I mean, look how quickly crude has come down. At one point, we spiked to 121. We came down very quickly. It was always, even with the worst headlines, right around early March, late April, just something, late March, early April, something turned. And, the market's been convinced that the conflict would be short-lived. And, we're coming down quickly. We're already at 70. I think we'll be at 62, 60 by the end of the year on crude. And that's going to translate into much cheaper gasoline.
Did you hear that? Was that a beeper?
Yeah, I think so.
Is there a fire alarm? Oh, I was going to say something there, but I think that's going to have to wait for Rumble.
45 ships through the Strait yesterday. So the gases and oil go in the right direction, even though you can't trust Iran, and we might end up in a conflict. But the big picture you say is look at the market. There's something going on here.
Well, it's 250 years. We just closed out the second quarter. The NASDAQ was up 21%. The S&P was up 16%. You talk about American exceptionalism on display. This is amazing, absolutely amazing, the amount of money that's being made right now. The companies that have been resurrected. Think about Micron, a company born in 1979 in Idaho. Someone in Idaho said, I want to do a semiconductor company. They barely survived. Ronald Reagan kept them in business, right? Because he pushed back against the Japanese.
All right, I'm not subjecting people to this slopaganda. What's the warning?
Already. They're going to be in everyone's home, the humanoid robots, the other robots. Quantum, I talked to you about this 2 years ago. Through the roof. Memory, phenomenal.
Look at this guy. You see this guy's expression in the front? Hold on a second. Let me go back here. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at all of them. Look, huh?
All of them. They're all like, huh?
What the fuck? This guy's just laughing like I just had a 1,000 milligram gummy before I came on here. What?
I'm sorry, the chick in the white looks like a dude.
I know.
Just like, no way.
She's got a Greek jawline. We'll say that.
Well, but that nose.
And she brought munitions into the newsroom. This lady up here is looking scuffed too. She's looking kind of like side-eyed at the camera. Like, am I really here? How long is this guy gonna fucking talk for?
They just pulled him in off the street. Come in. We want you to listen to this guy. Just sit here for a minute.
Phenomenal. So listen, this is
phenomenal.
Tesla's going to run with the robot stocks. They have this Optimus, which ultimately they may be taken over by SpaceX.
But Charles, there is an entire movement that want to stifle creativity, and the people that are making money within this stock market, they want to take that wealth away and give it to other people.
Right.
This 250th. What's your?
Well,
Okay.
now wait. If they want to make money, that's fine, but don't use us as your vehicle to make money, because that's what you're doing. Now, yes, I'm one of those that would take money away from the rich and give it to the poor. Why not? That's Robin Hood, and that's where we should go. But isn't that what Trump was going to do anyway? But we've never seen any of that. It's all, let's take care of the upper echelon, the 1%ers, and all the tax breaks go to, well, except the tax on tips. Just the tip, buddy.
Sorry, I'm having a technical snafu here.
No, you're good. You're good.
250th. What's your message to those?
Well, my message is that take a quick look at Germany. Right.
This 250th. What's your message to those?
Well, my message is that.
But Charles, there is an entire movement that want to stifle creativity, and the people that are making money within this stock market, they want to take that wealth away and give it to other people.
Right.
Okay, I guess he's talking about the people against the data centers. I don't know. He's being kind of vague there.
Yeah.
And or Democrats and or communists. We're going to say Democrats are communist.
I don't get the stifle creativity. That is not a specific thing. I wonder if he's talking about insider trading.
They're going to stifle my insider portfolio.
That's
I
kind
got
of creative.
the Nancy Pelosi stocks.
Yeah, that's kind of creative financing. So,
Well, this is one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
yeah.
The data centers,
I guess.
the machines that stole everybody's IP willy-nilly without asking, literally hoovered up everything in the internet, and now it's selling it back to us on a meter.
Right.
This 250th. What's your message to those?
Well, my message is that take a quick look at Germany. If you look at the top 10 stock markets in the world, only 2 are in Europe. Only 2. Imagine that. Only 2. I think it's France and the UK. They're sliding off.
It's not hard to imagine. It's not hard to imagine because they
Look
allowed
around, buddy.
unmitigated immigration, mass immigration to take
Well,
place for over the last decade.
But they don't want to talk about that. That's not the issue. It has nothing to do with finance, right? Right? Yeah, right.
It was about wage suppression, the same as it is here.
But the Dow is up. The DOW is up. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wage suppression and easy blue voters. It's what it comes down to. You get them on the government dole, and you've got a loyal supporter base forever.
Yeah, well,
because they're dependent on the handouts.
They have to be dependent because they can't do anything else. They have
I'm
no
not
skills.
sure that's entirely true, but it's the productive ones that do the most damage because they hoover up jobs that Americans otherwise would have had. Well, they didn't want to do them jobs because you don't want to pay enough anymore.
We went
and
down
shit
that
got
road.
expensive here in the States.
Yeah.
They're sliding off. Why? Because of those policies that all they do is punish success. All they do is harm success, tax it, intimidate it. In our country, what I love is since 2020, the bottom 50% of Americans
won't even say it.
$150 billion in the market.
No.
Fast forward 5 years later, we're at 600 billion. This is the bottom. By the way, it's still only 1% of the market. This is how you want it. If you talk about shared prosperity, we talk about politicians all the time. Shared prosperity isn't taking it from Brian and giving it to someone else. Shared prosperity is we all benefit from the backdrop of America where all this greatness is being created.
What? The backdrop of where all this prosperity is being created? The chasm between the haves and have-nots has grown immeasurably in the last 2 decades, but especially in the last 5 years. What in the fuck are you talking about, a shared prosperity? Average rent is $2,000 nationwide, and the minimum wage hasn't changed in the last 20 years. What are you fucking smoking?
He's stuck in that financial mindset, and he's not looking at the statistics around job creation or the lack of job creation. What he's really thinking, and I get his idea, the backdrop. We have the capability now for anyone to create something new utilizing this new technology. The deep fakes, you can do all that crap. There YouTube, faceless videos. There's ways you can, kind of manipulate that technology and utilize that to make some money, but you're not going to be in that 1%. I'm sorry. I don't care what you do. You're not going to have access to that 1% technology that the 1% have access to. So
even if you do, guess what? You're an outlier. Most people do not fall into that category. Most people are not geniuses. And not every genius winds up going on to create an SAS business.
no,
It doesn't work like that. And these companies, it would be one thing if they were sharing the wealth around, if trickle-down economics actually worked the way that it was.
Yeah, well, no.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't. He's making a point that this is the new industrial, I guess the new industrial age. It's a new technology age, and I can see where, yeah, maybe that's true, but you're kneecapping a lot of people because they don't have access to the tools. They don't have the actual tools that these elites are using to generate wealth. I can't go out and create a data center. I'm not going to. There's no way. And I have to utilize what I have access to, which is very limited, to be able to create anything. And even at that, I don't own the IP of it. Somebody else does.
I'm going to be brutally honest here. The reason why I use artificial intelligence is because it removes the hassle of having to interact with a human.
Yeah.
And I don't have the money to pay the number of humans for the amount of work that I would otherwise need to do for the projects that I'm doing.
Right.
If I had the money and I had the time, because I have the money, and I could do content creation at a full-time pace, I would prefer to pay human beings to do the work.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
It's my hope that I would someday, I'll someday get to that point where I'll be able to hire an art guy and a clip guy.
And a sound guy.
I'm still going to do my own fucking audio though.
Okay.
But everything else, I would like to have human beings do it. I'd like to get a real comic book artist to do the story that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I don't have the money to do that. And the reason why I don't have the money to do that is because this economy has been fucked into the dirt and our currency has been devalued by 40% in the last 20 years alone.
For the last 100 years, we've been going downhill. And, the economic prosperity that was generated in the 30s and the 40s has been watered down so much and taken away from us by the continuous printing of the dollar at these ever expanding. We were running out of money, let's just print some more. You're devaluing the dollar to the point that there's not even a dollar left. You're actually printing stuff. You're paying for something that's not even a value. So why I can see that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us off the dollar. They're trying to put us on the CBDC and get away from, an actual dollar bill, or unless it's the $250 bill, which I still am having a problem with that one, but okay, whatever.
I've heard from multiple different content creators word is going around that the dollar is going to be shuffled out pretty soon.
Very soon, yeah.
In favor of whatever new, probably some kind of cryptocurrency, Fed coin, something like that.
Well, and they were talking, I think Kyle was talking about the coin that Melania had, if you had put $1 million into it now, it's worth $8,000 now. If you originally put $1 million into it when it came out, it's worth $8,000 now. So that actually they made money off it in its inception, but those people that tried to invest in it and try to make money lost their shirt. So it's the Vegas syndrome. The house wins, and we're not the house. They're gambling with Americans' money, and they're the ones that are actually benefiting from it. So, sorry, I digress. So,
As a country slides towards economic catastrophe, the swindlers and the thieves come out.
They get thicker
to steal what's left of the wealth of a nation. The last act of any government is to steal from its own people. We're witnessing that. There is no shared prosperity, Mr. Payne. There's shared austerity. Maybe you just misspelled the word in your brain and said it wrong. At least you're wearing a better tie than that other guy was.
Audience benefit from you. Let's go to Edie. Edie, do you have a question for the great Charles Payne, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes. I want to know, because I heard you say gas prices will go down maybe by the end of the year, but when will they really go down?
Well, they have really started going down already for percentage-wise. Look at where we were a few weeks ago. Percentage-wise, that's a huge drop percentage-wise. Now, it feels like they go down slower than they go up. Remember, these or let's say $80 a barrel. And you look at the news, well, golly, now it's down to 70. It went down so much. Well, they bought it already. This is the gas that they're selling you. They're not going to, these are mom-pop people struggling. So give them a chance to sell the gas that they paid for.
Ah, yes, the ma and pa shops of Sunoco, Exxon, Shell, and Mobil.
Yeah.
Okay, I know the franchise is owned by franchisees. Unfortunately, that's what we're looking at. It makes me look at the pumps a little more jaundiced-eyed because I'm thinking, because the prices did go down almost immediately in the wake of all this stuff. And, they got to buy this stuff in bulk. So I think we're still getting the ethanol infused crap. And I still don't know what the proportion of the ethanol increase was.
It was originally not supposed to exceed 15%. It was supposed to remain around 8%, but I don't think that's what they're actually doing, because I think they're actually adding some other things to it, like water. I mean, I'm not, it's allegedly, but I just think there's an issue there where we're getting the shaft, and we're getting hit with the stick and not getting the carrot. So they're going to do whatever is best for the stockholders, and of course those conglomerates are going to make the judgment call on, okay, how much can we actually get away with and still allow people to drive their cars without, and we talked about this earlier. I think a lot of that has to do with planned obsolescence. They don't care if they're killing your engine because they expect you to buy a new car.
Yes. I think that would, this is one of my conspiracy theories. I don't have any. The reason for the Strait of Hormuz block was specifically to fuck with our oil, to give them the justification to dump copious amounts of ethanol into the gas and brick everybody, basically all the poors, to brick all the poor people's vehicles. So you wind up with a bunch of steaming hulks on the side of the road when everybody's gaskets blow out simultaneously within a year. And now all of a sudden, it's the perfect opportunity for, at a minimum, for everybody to have to get one of these geo-fenced Big Brother mega surveillance up your ass 24/7 vehicles. That's without even speculating as to whether or not they're going to try to push the EVs, which it'd be a prime opportunity for them to do that as well.
Yeah.
But at a minimum, to get us all driving the Big Brother machine so we can all spy on ourselves and each other by proxy
Yeah.
with these fucking things.
Yeah. If you see something, say something.
And I anticipate they're probably going to mandate this shit at some point.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
to get
they're
the
already
rest of the
trying
folks whose vehicles don't blow out and they hold out.
Yeah.
Maybe they know how to fix their own vehicles, that kind of person.
They're making that illegal too. So you're not, there's certain things you cannot fix. You cannot.
We were at 250 in Wisconsin before the Iran attack with the same oil pricing. Right now it's 359, needs to catch up to oil. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another financial mistake, because it has nothing to do with the actual market value of oil. It has to do with the processing of the oil, because we can't just use it as its raw state.
Yes.
So.
The United States made the brilliant decision of never having a functional refinery. I know we have refineries. Not enough.
Not at the level that we're actually consuming. So yeah, we're having to have that come in. I like this next comment that could I have some beef instead of a robot?
Here's the beef. Yeah, about the same price. Actually, the beef per pound is probably more expensive than the robot.
Than oil. Well, it's more expensive than oil right now. What I still have a problem with is we're buying oil from Argentina. I'm sorry, cattle from Argentina, because we're helping the Argentinian ranchers, but we can't help our own ranchers here.
Pointed out, one of the things that might invite, Laura, is people to come here quite literally on a vacation, give
yeah, come here on a vacation. Come on in.
Birth, and then all of a sudden the child and their family have the full benefits of American citizenship. It's just a preposterous rule.
Well, really just the child.
Yeah, because, and this actually goes back to what the 14th Amendment really never should have been taken as literally as what they're taking it as. But I think we're having an issue that nobody understands what the actual letter of the law says. So, and of course, lawyers and the judicial system like to make their own assessment of the law, and make, they just write the proceedings or whatever, the briefs, to fit whatever they want it to fit.
People
So,
like, I don't know, guys. We're kind of about to run ourselves into some very unsettling situations.
Really?
You don't say.
A lot of legal experts expected this case to go the wrong direction by 7-2 or even 8-1. The fact that this case was a 5-4 decision effectively means that the concept of birthright citizenship, which is an absurdity to the 14th Amendment, that concept is hanging by a thread. And so what I take from that is, yes, we've got to fix the immigration system even more. We have to be even more aware of who's coming into our country to make sure that they're not benefiting from this atrocious Supreme Court ruling. But it also means that we have to keep fighting, Laura, because we actually have an opportunity to reverse this decision, just as we've reversed so many bad decisions throughout the generations.
Yeah, well, we reversed so many decisions, but again, what you're saying basically is, we lost by one vote. Of course, we're winning because we lost.
We have to look, Laura, at some congressional and statutory changes that we could make to make it harder for people to actually take advantage of. I hate to call it birthright citizenship. It's fundamentally a loophole that now exists in our immigration system that rewards illegal aliens just because they have a baby in the United States while they're in our country illegally. So I think that loophole is going to cause a lot of problems. There are a number of things that we're already looking at in the administration, Laura, to try to close down that loophole. But
bro, do you understand? Like I said,
well, and they're really working with this TPS. I think that really was a mistake when we allowed people to come in, for example, from Haiti. That goes back to Bill Clinton, and they've been here for 30 years basically, and we've just allowed them to continue to be here. Now they're so ingrained in the economy that you can't just pull them out. So, I mean,
the fuck we can't.
Well, yeah,
there will be hardships.
There will
be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have pulled through harder shit than finding people to fill jobs, which, by the way, are desperately needed. And we also need true price discovery in the labor market. And the only way that's going to happen is if there is a demand, because there isn't right now, obviously. Nobody's hiring. I hear nightmare story after nightmare story on people on Indeed. They're getting ghost jobs. They're getting people with metadata collectors. They're getting scam artists trying to steal their money and their information.
Yeah.
No one's fucking hiring right now. And the reason why is the reason it's always been for the last decade. We have a wildly out of proportion, both illegal and legal immigration in this country. And it's been hurting us. And you had, I don't know if you played this or maybe Kyle played this earlier today, Trump talking about what are we going to do about the illegal immigration? He was asked, I don't know where this happened at, but what are we going to do about the illegal immigrants that are working at these agro facilities or cattle farms or factories and stuff like that? And he said, well, you know, they're nice people and they've been here for a while. And basically it was the amnesty.
Yeah.
It was the same thing that Obama and all these fuckers had talked about, except it's with the Republican justification of, well, we need them because they're skilled workers and they've been here a while and, you know, they're great people. They're great for stock portfolios. But it's time that Wall Street took a hit to the junk. It's time that corporations start paying workers what they're fucking worth. It's time that money starts circulating within our own economy. And the only way that's going to happen is pain, and lots of it at the financial level. Because if we can't affect that, then it's going to turn into the other kind of pain. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
It's going to turn into the literal kind with pitchforks.
Have you not seen the greed increasing in the last 10 years to where it's just not even?
With certain people, yes. But on the aggregate, most companies are just barely scraping by. They've been in triage since 2020, most of them. Some of them longer than that, even before the coup.
Yeah. But
the economic problems that we were having then were the byproduct of bad decisions, fiscal decisions made well before.
Yeah. And we're dealing with the repercussions of those bad decisions. But I brought this up before and we talked about it. When you go now to the store and you buy something, the size of the product is actually reduced for the same amount of money or more money than what you're buying 6 months or a year ago. And the quality of the ingredients that are going into those products are getting less and less because the companies are having to deal with all the taxes, all the embargoes, all the tariffs that are coming, everything there. Yep. The supply chain is really, really screwing everything up. And it's that trickle down, but it's everybody's getting the shit trickle down. Okay. I just don't see we're getting any better in our economy. We're actually taking hits more and more. And it's the companies. Yes. The larger corporations are scamming us very hard. They're more greedy and more greedy, and they're taking more and more of our money and giving us less product. But those small mom and pops, they're losing their shirts because they can't afford to do what they were doing before. A lot of companies, a lot of these local businesses I know have gone out of business or are on their way out because they can't compete. And so what are we going to do? We're just going to be 3 or 4 big corporations supplying everything?
Yes. I mean, we're kind of pretty close to that right now. It's probably closer to like 24 companies, but
buy your Soylent Green from Google and Meta.
So I was on Adam Taggart's podcast earlier today. I was listening. He had Stephanie Pomboy on, and she's always a veiled doomsayer. So I don't miss when she's on.
Okay.
Today they were talking about a swing in the economy that could hurt the rich.
Okay.
And that is the credit market seizing up.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a feeling, well, they were talking about this too, so it's more than just a feeling. More than a feeling.
Good one.
Okay, I get another one. I got a feeling that we're gonna see that because I think it's actually happening right now. I think people got tapped out like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And that credit market seizure is starting to roll
down.
I guess uphill is the analogy to use here, because I think it's largely based on age. So
yeah,
the boomers are going to be the last to be hit by it because they have the most equity and assets.
Well, I have to disagree with you on that point, because a lot of the boomers grew up in a philosophy of not having credit. So everything they paid for out of cash. If they didn't have the money to buy it, they didn't buy it until the last 10 years, and they've started to build their credit, and they're actually having a problem getting good credit now because they can't afford to have credit. And their interest rates are so phenomenally high on these credits.
These credit companies are not going to have a choice but to widen their search parameters for creditors because there's going to be less of them.
Yeah.
They've squeezed everyone else. They're kind of not the standout, but the last group standing, financially speaking, and also from a mentality standpoint. Most would not use credit instruments. I know my grandparents wouldn't touch the stuff.
Yeah.
But if they're pinched hard enough, they will.
They have no choice. Now, this happened a year ago. He was actually messing with the credit bureaus, and it was saying, we're going to make some changes. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He made the statement that we're going to change the credit cards where they cannot be predatory. They can only have like 5% interest across the board. This was something that he kept talking, and again, it's an announcement, but we never follow through. We talk about it. There's no perp walk. There's no evidence. Show me the money.
Remember when they were saying that it was just going to be tariffs, and we're going to do away with income tax because we wouldn't need it. We'll get so much money from the tariffs. We're going to tariff. By the way, Mexico is going to build the wall, except that didn't happen.
Well, we don't have a wall, but we're getting a ballroom. So
we're going to deport, was it 11 million illegal immigrants? I think we've only done maybe 1.5 if we're being
1.2.
Yeah. And I guess we're just done now, right? Because they stopped reporting on it. So I guess it's not happening anymore.
I mean, we had so many ICE agents either getting in trouble or getting shot that they, can't really send ICE out to do their job. So I don't know where that stands, but
they're not ready. They're not ready for the Civil War yet.
The statement came down that we're spending $2,000 to send one illegal immigrant out of the country. And what did he say today? $2,400. We'll give you $2,400. Mark Wayne Mullen.
I think we could crowdfund that amount.
I don't know.
I think we could crowdfund that shit. Somebody was, I think, might have even been Chris Hinckley that was talking about that. We could just crowdfund it and get it done. I think it was Steve Elkins actually that said that. He said that years ago, though.
But if you'll self-deport, we'll give you $2,400 to go wherever you want to go. Hey, can I get a ticket?
I gotta check. I gotta check Axel's channel. Actually, I wonder if he got kicked off of YouTube finally.
Oh, really?
Oh, what the fuck did I do? Okay, the scroll button does something. Okay.
Sorry, dude.
What is it?
When you got off this?
No, you're good. Financial. It was my fault.
I like this this look on JD's face. That was a real good stop there.
Wow, he hasn't made a video in a month. I'm gonna have to reach out to him on X, make sure he's all right.
Find out what's going on. Yeah, I had somebody, I didn't notice, but I got a message from somebody that was like, dude, where have you been? Sorry, I've been working. So, yeah, we've all been we've had our own things going on. Let me play over to this real quick.
How many times did we hear people say that this was going to go 8-1 against the administration? We made some very compelling arguments. We have the better of the case. We've just got to keep fighting at this. And this drives home, Laura, why the midterms are so important, because it's the
Yeah.
Vote for us again. Vote harder. It'll work next time, we promise.
senators who ultimately vote on those Supreme Court justices. Imagine if one of the 5 justices who made a bad call today, if they left the Supreme Court, we want to make sure we get somebody good on there in the future.
Yeah, let's pad the Supreme Court. Yeah, let's put in somebody that has nothing to do with judicial precedent or justice of any kind. We'll pay them to say whatever we want them to say, and win in our favor. So
get John Thune out of the chair. He has been a continuous problem for basically every agenda we've been trying to pass. Get the fucker out of there and find
you hail from the Senate and so many.
Sorry.
How is this hard? Every time Republicans get a majority in the House and the Senate and they've got a seat, they do nothing with it, at least nothing to the American people's benefit. It was awful fucking convenient. We got Trump in for the first 4 years. He got absolutely fuck all done because he was fighting tooth and nail with Congress and his own swamp cabinet. Now we got to see this shit play out again. Except he's just water carrying for all the people that cock blocked him last time around.
Yeah.
Big ups, man.
Yeah. Well, but Thune, of course, I mean, he's and allegedly, pure speculation, he is being paid by a certain lobby to do their bidding. And so, of course, everything that could possibly work in our favor, he's going to do everything he can do to block. So, I mean, but there's no way we're not going to get him out. We're not going to vote him out. It's not going to happen. We're so deadlocked with the people that are being paid off. There's no way this is going to fix until we actually get some people in that are going to. And it goes back to Rubio saying, Shiva, we got to get the right people out. We got to get people out of there that, until they make a change, we're not going to make a change. Okay. That's the point. And I don't know, man. Thune is basically killing us, but.
What kind of asinine fucking argument is it to come on here and say, well, you know what? We didn't get the bill passed that could have fixed our election process and secured the ballots. But we were so close. And what's the fucking point? Who's the dissenting votes, by the way?
I don't know.
Get a disclosure on that? Because I'd like to know when re-election time comes to campaign in those districts for their opposition. This shit has got to fucking end. This should have been a bipartisan across the board yay.
A win. Yeah, but
the only possible reason why you would be for this is if you wanted illegal immigrants voting. That is it. There is no other justification for it. Nothing else makes sense logically.
Well,
you can
logic fails.
You can.
Sorry, I had to.
Stole my thunder.
I mean, seriously though, because there's no other explanation. You're absolutely right. There's no other explanation than this is the way they wanted it to go. It's all engineered for this particular reason. That's why we stuffed everything into this bill and tried to push it through, and it didn't work. And then we go, okay, we're going to go to the court, and we're going to have the court take care of this little issue, and we can't float that. Why?
I find it interesting that they tried to tack this on to the NDAA recertification.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, fuck the NDAA.
Yeah. Well,
second of all, to have its re-uppance and tied on to this amendment to it,
it's asinine.
completely asinine. This isn't NDAA territory, and I realized they figured that'd be an easy win because, of course, they're going to want to pass the NDAA to re-up it because we need the mass surveillance state for the Civil War we're going to astroturf, and we need to figure out who the dissenters are.
I mean, they already know that anyway.
This should have been a constitutional convention event. It is that level of thing. We need a constitutional convention to add to the Constitution an amendment, an actual amendment, voted on, ratified. And that way, there is no fucking question from here on out. This is the law.
Let me just float an idea past you and just see if this. Let's run this up the flagpole and see if anybody salutes it. What if they're actually going to try to do that right around the 250th anniversary of the country?
You know what? Be the perfect time to make some additions and subtractions, if you know what I mean.
You wonder?
And the perfect justification for it. The only way they'd be able to do it is if they pulled like a J6, not J6.
No.
I mean, they have some kind of a massive public fuck up with the midterms, and they just, add all kinds of intrigue layers to it and bullshit. Do a legitimate kangaroo style investigation trial into all the people that are part of the AstroTurf event that didn't happen, but
I mean, they've already set up
like this past.
I mean, they're
no. I've got it.
Okay.
What if they actually let the NDAA sunset on purpose? What if they stall this thing out long enough that it just they have to sunset it? Can you imagine all that shit going away?
No,
No.
I mean,
because there's a part 2 to my prediction.
Okay.
They let it sunset on purpose, and then we get maybe midterms fuckery or a 9/11 style event
to reinitiate it.
So we can make a new one. It won't be NDAA. It'll be Trump's bill. This is, you know what? This is actually, I have a feeling this is probably closer to what the objective here is. Because NDAA is Obama's baby.
Yeah.
And I think Trump, being the man of history enjoyer that he is, wants to be in the books and wants to have his own tyrannical, overreaching Big Brother bill.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. There's going to be a lot of pushback on if that's the way they're going to go. But they're really going to have to pull a really good event to sway the populace mentality, like we saw in 2001. That, of course, I'm not saying that's what happened, but the mentality of the country changed 180. Everybody was behind what we had a target. We went after the target. You signed up. I know a lot of people signed up for that reason. The patriotic, that spirit was there, and they're going to have to work towards that. And that may be, it's 250 years. They're working on that sentiment.
How about this? I'll make another prediction.
Okay.
How about Iran? We're going to blame Iran for a cyber attack, and it will be like a reverse Stuxnet on maybe our AI data centers, maybe something defense linked, something like that. And they'll say it's revenge for the centrifuge sabotage all them years ago. Or maybe they even retrofitted the same virus or something stupid.
Well, and I have to say, because I'm doing a lot of research in that area right now, very honestly, That is a possibility, and there have been incidents that have happened recently with Iran, and they've got two really good groups that are involved. I can't think of their names right now, but they are targeting some of our critical infrastructure. The problem is they're not targeting the largest areas of the critical infrastructure. What they're doing is they're hitting the smaller areas. What's going to happen is a cascading event, which is it's like dominoes. When they take out the right ones, it's just going to collapse the grid at a growing rate. So yeah, I can see that could be a possibility, and that could actually be initiated not from really Iran. That could be a black flag, false flag.
Well, our own boys could do it. And that's kind of what I'm saying anyways. I'm saying, from Vault 7, they can make cyber attacks look like they're coming from foreign state actors.
Vault
Julian
7
Assange leaked that years ago.
Vault 7's been in over 8 years. They've been in our grid, but see, they're just doing reconnaissance. They're not actually doing any malicious activity. They're living off the land. They're staying up to date and current with what's going on with our technology. So when they're ready, they can pull the trigger. But yeah, they're not the only ones that are involved in that. Russia's got their own groups. I mean, I would venture to say, and I'm just saying this off the cuff, Ukraine actually has a couple of groups that are involved in infrastructure implementation, or I guess getting into the infrastructure. So they want to make sure that they have kind of the leverage to keep us spending money on their war. But that's pure speculation too. So I don't know, man. The word came out not too long ago, and I've heard rumblings of this, that a nation state that we're involved with, that lies a lot, who is a real threat, that they were planning another 2001 type event to be coming soon. That's where a lot of the intelligence is saying we're going to be seeing this type of event. This type of event's coming. Prepare yourselves. This is coming. And this may be it. I mean, this may be where they're going to lay the groundwork for what's to come as far as the state.
It would make a lot of sense because we're heading into the summertime. Utility bills are already. We've been in Prepper Now, I think it was talking about this earlier today, that we're in a financial war.
Yeah.
And Iran is calling our bluff. That's why we're coming to the peace deal table. It's not the other way around, because you remember it was like a week ago, Trump just said we're going to use the military.
Yeah.
Well, we found out that the military doesn't get you any farther than your tanks and your ships and your planes can drive. And if you run out of gas, or it becomes so expensive to maintain your fleets and your fancy equipment, there is a breaking point with that. And I don't think they're ready to transfer that fully onto the American people. It wouldn't work for very long anyways.
2 months into this excursion, whatever action you want to call, our military was already running on empty stomachs. And so they're only putting this further and further along and not taking care of our troops, leaving them out there to dry. What's going to happen? Morale already was at an all-time low, and man, I don't know.
It's not just about hurting the military, because it was within their capability to do that, and they haven't really struck at our military.
Well, they've made attempts. But they're not very good at it.
But one thing they can do is they can fuck with our economy. And another way in which they could do it, or at least a way in which our government could claim that they're doing it, because they're the boogeyman of today.
They need a boogeyman, yeah.
Is to fuck with our utility system
our financial system, or both,
or both. And I have a feeling they'll use the data centers as vectors. Can you imagine if you could hijack that hardware and use it as
well,
a dissemination tool for your mega virus?
wow. Yeah, I mean, they're good. I'm sure they have some command and control servers already in some of those data centers now. We're not really aware of what's going on because they're private. They're privatized. And do you realize our all of our infrastructure are actually privatized? None of this is actually owned by government entities. So the little guy that has a co-op here can't afford to buy new technology. They're buying stuff off of eBay to put into their substations. We don't know where that came from. We have no idea we have no asset management. We don't know what's in those substations. We don't know the firmware. We don't know the hardware. We don't know where it came from. We don't know if it's been tampered with in the supply chain. And the little guy just does the best that he can do to take care of his part of the grid. And they can't even. This is what's really just killing me. Do you know it's to get a standard, a piece of paper that says this is what we need to do for our electric grid? It's $230 for the piece of paper. So every one of these, I'm serious. You have to pay to get the standard to say what they need to do to keep the secure of their particular substation. And so these co-ops are not actually spending the money. It's not a mandatory thing. It's a voluntary thing. And so we're not up to standard on any of the stuff that the CISA has laid out. We go through all this stuff. We spend all this money to spend money on think tanks to develop these procedures and policies and push them out and say, oh, you need to do this because this is best for the security of our national infrastructure. But, oh, by the way, it's not mandatory. You can just do whatever you want. That's problem. That's problem. And then, of course, everything we have runs on our infrastructure, our water, our gas, our electric, our communications, our financial. All this stuff is all interspersed, all interconnected. If one goes down, talk about a fire sale, man. Shit's going to hit the fan like you've never seen coming. Sorry. I'm so deep in this right now, and it's making me sick to see where we've gotten to. And we're allowing this to happen, and nobody knows. Nobody really, the common man on the street just thinks I'm going to turn my light on and it's going to come on. That ain't the case. Tomorrow that light may not come on and it may never come on again.
I don't think they're going to do that for a long period of time, maybe a few days, because they need to be able to pipe propaganda into your brain also. So I don't see it going on for very long. Long enough for people to be inconvenienced by it.
No, they're working on a long-term solution. The
long-term solution is they're just going to wipe us all out.
Well, but they want to actually, and you're right, they want to be able to use a propaganda machine to really tear us apart from the inside out. They're not going to fire a shot. They're going to make us tear each other up, and they're doing a real good job of it. I have a real good suspicion that North Korea, China, and Russia are all sitting back going, ha, 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 ha. See, but they have other channels of propaganda. So yeah, they could take down a couple of things and make it inconvenient for us. They're still going to have those back channels to allow that propaganda to get to us. And a lot of that really comes from within the deep state. I hate to say, but I mean, Mockingbird, Project Mockingbird, of course, is in full swing. I'm sorry to say, but everywhere you look is a new psyop, and I don't know. Sorry, I'm.
The future of money. Where do I see it going? That was the question. This is going to be a really boring video, like super boring. So just don't sit there and bitch at me in the comments about how boring it is, because it's boring. We have to deal with what they want first. Who's they? Let me go ahead and define that for you, because nobody else will. That's the bankers. That's your bankers, your politicians, your people who really add not a whole lot of value to.
That's racist.
Humanity. People who work in finance. People who don't really do anything. They don't really produce anything. Okay, except for fantasies for a lot of people. And remember, keep in mind, people want fantasies. People love fantasies. They love being told all kinds of lies about how, yeah, in the future you're going to be rich. Just keep doing what we're doing. So what they want to do is something called tokenization of the currency. Now, let me explain what that means, at least as I understand it, according to Larry Fink and others. It's that all the assets become tokenized. It sounds like a good idea, right? It sounds like, oh, great. So, okay, so then there's it's pegged to something real, something tangible.
Let me guess, they're gonna tie it to credit machines somehow, and so we can loan you out 90% of a leaf, and we've got a reserve of the 10% of the leaf,
based on how you act and your ideology. Yeah.
Tangible, right? Kind of like pegging your currency to the labor of the people. Right. I mean, let me piss everybody off, because, dude, I mean, I piss off the capitalists all the time. I have no problem pissing off the communists, or excuse me, the college-educated people. And I don't have any problem at all pissing off the National Socialists either. I don't claim with any of you people because math, dude. Anyway, yeah, it sounds tangible until you change it. It's not really tangible, is it? Until you change the number of assets. Remember, keep in mind, and they're not going to, it's not like it's going to be, oh, the rich people have all these tokens and they have to use the tokens to then create more assets to then create more tokens. No, they'll borrow against it. Yep. So it's like, it's the same thing. The outcome will be the exact same.
Yes.
The outcome will be the exact same that you have right now, except you will extra not own anything, because now everything will be tokenized. So that means that everything that you own will also be in this so-called tokenized system. Now, you may own those tokens until you get into some kind of financial trouble. And trust me, that will happen. They will make sure that happens. And then you'll have to sell your tokens, which means that if you actually did own the property, you won't own the property now. Like, this is a little confusing, I understand, but think of it, it's very similar in structure to the whole mortgage-backed securities thing. It's really similar in structure. It's the same basic idea.
But now I have a question. Do you realize how insecure that tokenization is? Do you understand? We're talking about now all your assets being digitized.
Yeah, that sounds like a phenomenally bad idea. It also sounds like a stupid idea. Like, it only exists on the web. When the web goes away,
all your
if
assets
you turn the
go
power off, you have no. It doesn't matter if it exists in the cloud if you have no access to the cloud. Dumb.
No, that's where they've got you, because they know if they take away your buying power, they are in control of you. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to put us all on this system where they can take that away from us whenever they want. So good luck. I don't know, man.
Aren't we already there? It feels like we're already there.
To a certain degree, yeah. But we do, I mean, I do have some assets that I could, if I have to, I could go down to the corner pawn shop and get some cash. But yeah, it's going to be to the point where you're not going to have that cash. You can't get cash. It's all digitized, and then they're going to control it all. So
this sounds like the plot for devs, where they had to like record everything so they could, like, at the subatomic level, so they could rewind and watch the Passion of Christ IRL.
Well, I mean, I think that's going on in the super collider anyway. So that's another topic. Do you see though? Well, go ahead.
I gotta call it, man. It's going on 11 o'clock right now.
Is it? Holy crap! Sorry, dude.